most sensational bout of scoring I've ever seen in the European Cup. Gilzine, 7.
After that, we believed in ourselves that we could have a run in this championship.
And of course, when we went back to Germany, they had to do something, so immediately they picked out the goalkeeper for attention, and Bert Slater was kicked in the head. So that meant that Andy Penman, an outfield player, had to go into goal, no substitutes, and Dundee played there with 10 men.
But for Bert coming back on at half-time and concussed, totally concussed, he doesn't remember playing in the second half. We'd probably with a good chance of losing the tie, but we held out and we ended up winning, I think, 8-5 in aggregate overall. So it was a great comeback. But I think we were every bit as good. Well, we were better than the Germans over the 2 games. We were a better team, and once we'd beaten them, I don't think any team held any fears for us.
Following the victory over Cologne, in the next round, Dundee faced the Portuguese champions, Sporting Lisbon.
We went away, I think, the first game there, and we were beaten 1-0 in their ground. And then we hammered them 4-1 here and gave them a right sorting here. It could have been a lot more than 4-1.
Quarter-final opponents Anderlecht, earlier conquerors of the mighty Real Madrid, were swept aside both home and away.
To beat Anderlecht away from home 4-1, with famous players like Paul van Heemst in the Anderlecht team, and Gilzine to head the goals, I think 3 over there, away from home.
You know, at one point I think there was about 50 passes. We held possession football, and I remember the crowd just started clapping involuntarily, and it was quite a moment. A Scottish team in Europe teaching them how to play possession football.
Anderlecht don't like it, it's going to be 4. It is.
Italian giants AC Milan were now the final barrier in Dundee's path to the European Cup final. But although the Dark Blues were content with a 1-1 half-time scoreline, a second period loss of concentration resulted in a 5-1 defeat. In the second leg, Dundee made a valiant effort to overcome the deficit. But despite winning 1-0 before a 38,000 crowd at Dens, it was not enough.
I think the reason we did so well is because we could play football from the back all the way out. Everybody can play the football from defence right through the forward lines.
We played possession football, the Dundee team. We had lots of good players, all wanting to retain possession. We didn't give it away easily.
I don't think anyone could doubt the quality of that Dundee team.
We came within an ace of winning the European Cup that year. I've got absolutely convinced of that.
Bob Crampsey, who's a statistician and a very, very shrewd historian in Scottish football, I think I've heard him say, I hope I'm not misquoting him, that he felt that was the best ever club side in Scotland, even better than the Celtic team, which 4 years later won the European Cup. Now, with a little break, I think Dundee could have won it 4 years before Celtic.
The great thing they had was that they were an exquisite footballing side. Dundee were by far the best pure footballing side that we produced and so on, without any question at all.
Ian Ure had been one of Dundee's key defenders. But early next season, the Scottish international was transferred to Arsenal for £62,500. Fellow Scottish internationalist Alec Hamilton remained as a key figure at Dens and would go on to become Dundee's most capped player. Despite the loss of Ure, plenty of talent still remained, and some spectacular scoring saw them reach the semi-final of the 1964 Scottish Cup. Their opponents were Kilmarnock.
Dundee take the field at Ibrox Stadium in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. After 31 minutes, Dundee inside left Gilzine opens the score. At half-time, it's Dundee 1, Kilmarnock 0. Dundee go on pressing till the very end, and before the final whistle, they win the semi-final 4-0.
Dundee had a number of potential goal scorers, but none could compare with the prolific Alan Gilzine. The big inside left was to smash Dundee's individual scoring record with 52 league and cup goals for the season. And he finished his Dens career with an astonishing 163 goals from 181 games. With 72 goals from their previous 19 games, the Dark Blues were confident of success in the final against Rangers.
Dundee in white attacking the goal on the left, Rangers in candy striped shirts attacking the goal on the right. Penman on the edge of the box, this could be dangerous for Dundee. Gilzine moving across, Penman goes for the line, turns it across, oh, what a chance for Robertson! Saved on the line twice. Stewart heads it back in. Well, that evens out the miss at the other end. Gregg, nice flick to Henderson. McLean at outside right. Henderson cuts one way, then the other. Flicks the ball through to McLean, a good pass. McLean turns it low across goal, a great chance and a wonderful save by Slater from that flick by Brand. McLean gets it to his left foot, turns it across to Baxter, a great chance here for Baxter to score. Stopped by Slater. Again Slater miraculously falls on it. No wonder Brand applauds the gallantry of this man Slater, who several times has prevented Dundee from going a goal down. Seath a long one downfield, centre forward Cameron. Cameron for Dundee, goes in at the far post, over it comes, here comes Gozin, over the bar. Lovely move, good header, goal kick to Rangers. Henderson, a good one, riding well up, a great chance for Wilson. A fantastic save by Slater, that's the only word for it. Absolutely fantastic, point blank range, Wilson absolutely let himself go there, and Slater right on the line beat the ball down. Henderson, over it comes, Miller heads it in, it's a goal! Miller has scored for Rangers. The Dundee defence flat-footed, the ball headed in very simply, and it's one of the most unexpected and dramatic goals we've ever seen. Great rolls of it, can I use Dundee at the other end? What a chance here! The umpire drives it in, it's a goal! Cameron scores for Dundee! What a game, what a final, what a match! 2 goals in 45 seconds, one for Dundee, one for Rangers. What a match, one each! About 90 seconds to go, the free kick to Rangers. Henderson at outside left, collects it from Baxter. Henderson inside the box, chips it to the far post. Miller's there. And the ball's in the net. Miller scores in the last minute for Rangers. Inside the last minute now. Dundee have done it once. Can they do it a second time? Cousin shoves it forward. Comes through to Gregg. Henderson. Brand. Henderson again. Through to Brand. Wilson coming through as the extra forward. Left foot shot, a great save by Slater. Brand must score. 3-1, 2 goals in the last 60 seconds. Fantastic scenes of jubilation among the Rangers players and on the terracings. Rangers strike twice in 60 seconds, and it's all over.
Gilzean was famed for his heading ability, but his days at Dens were to be numbered, and soon he was on his way to Spurs in another big money deal. Meanwhile, another promising youngster had made his breakthrough.
Out to Robertson. Low one, and there's Scott with a great goal. A great goal there by 16-year-old inside right John Scott.
When I first arrived, it was different to what I'd experienced down in London. It was a case of everybody trained together. So I'd arrived here, I was training with the likes of Bert Slater, Alec Hamilton, Bobby Cox, Bobby Seath, Bobby Wishart, Alan Gilzean, Hugh Robertson, Andy Perman. You know, most of the team that had won the championship in 1961. So it was a great experience.
Stewart to Waddle. High one. Perman's caught it, turned it back nicely. A mix up there, and Scott's on the spot to score a third goal. A tragic blunder there in the Dundee United defence, involving, I think, left half Briggs and of course goalkeeper Davey. At any rate, the ball fell at the feet of 16-year-old inside right John Scott, and he had merely to prod the ball home with 6 minutes left for play to put Dundee, I think, into an unassailable 3-1 lead in this exciting Tayside derby.
I was fortunate. I played in the first team 2 weeks after I arrived here. You know, and just a raw young boy. But the players I've mentioned all helped. They, if you made a mistake, they told you. they told you what to do rather than what not to do. If you did something well, they praised you, and generally they talked you through a game. And I mean, they were great players themselves, so it was easy.
Penman, very fast one, past Gordon. A quick cross, there's Waddle, and a great goal! A beautiful header there from Bobby Waddle, from that cross by Andy Penman.
The great team of the early 1960s was fast breaking up, and early in 1965, Bob Shankly followed Gilzean out of Dens, his departure signalling the end of a golden era for Dundee. Bobby Ansell was to replace him, and by 1967 his rebuilt side had progressed to the semi-final of the Scottish League Cup.
St Johnstone have a lead of 1-0 at the beginning of the second half, a goal coolly scored by Whitelaw, who kept his head very well after a terrible tangle between the Dundee goalkeeper, who was really blameless, and the two Stewarts, centre half and left half. The goal came just when Dundee looked rather the more likely side to score. Chance here, it's kicked in. 1-each, Dundee have lost very little time. Jos McLean with Wilson.
The score finished 3-1. In the final, the Dark Blues met European Cup winners Celtic, but lost 5-3 in a thrilling encounter at Hampden.
The manager at that time decided to take 13 players in the squad, and unfortunately it was unlucky for me. So I was sitting in the stand watching the game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Celtic were a good side, got off to a good start, but we played very well and gave them a hard time of it. And as you say, it was we lost 5-3, but you know, from a neutral point of view, it was a good game to watch.
And headed away on the line, McLean. Jim McLean scoring a second goal for Dundee, making the score Celtic 3, Dundee 2, Lennox. Celtic 4, Dundee 2. Chance for Jos McLean. So for the third time in this remarkable match, Dundee are trying to fight back. Celtic 4, Dundee 3. Wallace. Celtic 5, Dundee 3. What a day this has been at Hampden.
Despite losing, Dundee showed their quality by going on to reach a second semi-final, this time in the Fairs Cup, only to lose 2-1 in aggregate to a powerful Leeds side over the two legs. Previously, however, the Dark Blues had produced some great performances, particularly in the second round against Belgian outfit Royal Liège.
Chance, that's number one, yes. Goal number one. Stewart. Goal! Oh, good goal. 1-0. Alex Stewart. Goal! Wilson. Sammy Wilson stoops to head the ball. Slight deflection past the keeper. 3 minutes of the second half gone. Dundee go into a 2-1 lead. Chance for Stewart. Downwind. Goal deflection. Another deflection. 3-1.
After their Fairs Cup experience, manager Bobby Ansell was replaced by John Prentice, and with Jim McLean as coach, great progress was made. Promising youngsters like Jim Steele and Ian Phillip made a big impact, but it was the arrival of striker Gordon Wallace in 1969 that sparked a turnaround for Dundee.
John Prentice signed me, and it worked out well for me because he was definitely a thinking man's player, and I like to think that I was that kind of player as well. So it certainly helped my career.
After a 3-year absence, Dundee were back in Europe in the UEFA Cup. After defeating AB Copenhagen in the first round, they were to meet old rivals Cologne.
I thought in the night we played very well until a spell late in the game where everything just went right for us.
The atmosphere at the end was just electric when we came off the park, and it was a wonderful feeling, you know, to have beaten them, because they had something like 3 World Cup stars playing.
Overath, after the game, when I congratulated him on his performance, all he could say to me and shake his head was, how did we get beat? To which I replied, because we scored more goals than you.
And then we drew AC Milan in the next round, and to play in the San Siro, well, it's like everything else, it's childhood ambition, isn't it? Schoolboy stuff.
The Milan game, unfortunately, was a terrible result across in Milan. We lost 3-0. But the game here, we tore them apart.
Coming back here for the second leg against Milan at Dens, I thought Dundee probably gave one of the best performances, in my time at the club anyway, against anybody. We won the game 2-0, and though we went out, I thought it was a magnificent performance that we gave that night.